My life before I was diagnosed, I was very athletic. I was working full-time, overtime, having just the blast time of my life. I played basketball, volleyball, everything I could do to stay active. Very outgoing, bubbly, constantly on the go, never settling down.
When I met Bridget, she was fresh out of college and she landed a job as an elementary school teacher teaching first grade. She attended Wingate University. She was a swimmer. She was always an athlete her entire life, so she was in very good shape. And she loved teaching. She loved the kids. She was just very energetic. She was that fiery redhead, so everybody knows that attitude, and that's what was so great about her.
I was going to school and I was swimming a little bit for fun, and I would go out a lot with friends. And I was working actually. I was a waitress at a restaurant, and I started going to parties around that age. I was 17 and I was doing teenager things.
Of course, I'm one of those situations where I actually had lupus and didn't know it. It was misdiagnosed actually, but so I was in my 40s before I actually had what we later found out to be lupus. Thought it was something else, but my life before that, I mean, I was strong and active, and you know, worked 2 or 3 jobs, and just seemed like it was just tireless.
When I was diagnosed, it was actually a very quick diagnosis, and I woke up one morning and had extreme joint pains all over my body. I was working full-time, standing on my feet all day and moving heavy boxes, so at the end of the day I couldn't walk, and it was just very challenging, and so I had to move through the company to find a good position that worked for me. And once it did, it was fine, but it was very challenging once it started affecting my kidneys, and then eventually I had to go out on disability. I didn't think about it. I didn't know I went through it until after I went through it, and I was sitting at dialysis one day saying, I don't have a job. Just kind of struck me as, wow, I don't know where I'm going to go next type ordeal.
Obviously, we're both very young. Knew each other for 6 years, dating for 5. So we lived together for quite a while, and no idea she had lupus. When I met her, she told me she was diagnosed with discoid lupus, which is just the skin rash, and when I found out what that was, it was no big deal, and you could live with that. And as it progressed, we just had more appointments with lupus specialists and doctors, and found out she had systemic lupus, and as soon as she got diagnosed with systemic, that's when she had complications, and they just hit really quick.
In 2009, we were going out of the country, and we wanted to get a physical before just to make sure, because we were going to Guatemala, and my doctor said she found some protein in my urine, so she told me to go see a nephrologist, and he did a biopsy, and he saw immediately that I had lupus nephritis. And I didn't really learn about it because I didn't have any symptoms, so I wasn't really worried. I had to start a few medicines just to keep it under control, but I didn't learn what it really was until 2012, and that's when I started having my first symptoms, like swollen feet and swollen eyes.
When the doctor came out, we had a little meeting, and he came out and he said, she have lupus nephritis. I didn't hear the nephritis part, I heard the lupus, and I just started crying, and I didn't know much about it, but like I said, long time ago, I heard that it was a disease that had no cure.
When I found out I had lupus, it was a drastic change for me in my life. Simple things like buttoning your shirt, getting dressed, getting out of bed even in the morning sometimes was very difficult. Doing anything strenuous.
Well, it's like the 5 stages of lupus. I had them all. Denial, that this isn't really happening, and then frustration, this is really happening, I don't know how to handle it. I was very emotional, and then I knew I had to change it around. I let it affect my life too much, and I get very depressed, and I just sat all day doing nothing in a dark room. And so I made the choice to change my life, and I'm trying to do better, be more active, that type of thing.
I think my relationship with my family got stronger, and with my friends it kind of got stronger with some, but it got distant with others because I couldn't hang out as much. So I guess I saw the difference between friends who really wanted to be there and some who just wanted to go out.
Well, none of my friends or family actually thought I had lupus. They didn't believe it. They even questioned the doctors because I did not have the common rash on your face. And no one believed it, and so they thought I was faking a lot of the stuff that happened until my kidneys failed. And that's when they were like, this is serious. But that's when I started getting more support than I had been getting.
The last few days were great, until the last moment. And that's the tough part. Like, you don't look sick. You know, she's laying in the hospital bed and she was ready to come home. And we got a phone call that morning with the tragic news. After the stroke, she ended up suffering the brain hemorrhage. Didn't want to believe what I was hearing, and still believed there was a chance, still believed there was hope. Even after realizing certain moments there wasn't any more hope. But yeah, it's hard to live with, especially when things they look so up. They look like they're going great, and then just snap of the finger, different ballgame.
It's not going to hurt for me to find out what's going on, to try to help me in my quest to try to find out more of what I can do to help me live with this disease and be able to, to live the very best life that I possibly can. And so that's when I came by, and I was just really overwhelmed with all the resources and the fact that the Lupus Foundation exists to do what they do.
Anything that has to do with lupus, you need to find this place right away. I think be part of this organization. I think it's very important. It helps a lot to be around people that have the knowledge.
I was able to go to the summit. And in the summer, it was just absolutely wonderful. It was just the breakout sessions and what the doctors talked about, different aspects of things that you go through and medically. It was just incredible to me. I just wish I could have learned more. It just made me want to learn more and more, and go to more and more events as much as possible.
My name is Maria Caceres, and I'm 18 years old.
My name is Pierce Sheets, and I was diagnosed with lupus 4 years ago.
My name is Amy Scruggs, and I'm 26 years old, and I have systemic lupus.
My name is Jared Demmons, and I live with somebody that fought a battle with lupus and lost at way too young of an age at 27 years old. I'm here tonight to ask for your help for the Lupus Foundation of America North Carolina chapter, and in any way you can, donate, volunteer, just help the Lupus Foundation of America get their name out there. That's what we're all here for tonight, and pass word on. Let everybody know, let your cousins know, your aunts, your uncles, grandmothers. Not enough people know about this disease.